Did you know that everything that you do behavior-wise and everything that everybody else does behavior-wise is all an attempt to meet an underlying need? In this video, I'm going to explore what the foundational needs are of every human being and how sometimes we develop behaviors that are attempts to meet that need that actually are unhelpful to ourselves and may actually cause harm to ourselves or others. So, according to Maslow, who was a psychologist, he did a lot of research on human beings and found through his research that there are a hierarchy of needs, is what his publisher called him, but these are the needs that are foundational to the ability for a human being to thrive. So the foundational needs are safety and security. So at its root, if we do not have emotional safety, if we do not have physical safety, if we do not have safety of our bodies, which includes things like food and shelter and clothing and healthcare and clean air and clean water, to name a few, then we cannot thrive and meet our higher needs, such as relationships, right? And that is another foundation, is connection, right? We need emotional safety. We need the ability to express our feelings and our needs and have them be, and our boundaries, and have them be respected and honored and celebrated and met, right? And we also have the foundational need to be sovereign and autonomy, to have free will, to make the decisions that we feel are in our best interest, right? Which might be how we express ourselves. It might be the career that we decide to engage in, or the hobbies that we decide to engage in, or even the belief systems that we hold. And then additionally, there is self-actualization, the ability to have an understanding of our values and our morality and our sense of connection to all things, right? And these needs are foundational for everybody to thrive. And self-actualization oftentimes leads to an understanding that all beings are worthy of these same basic needs. Right. So in order for us to get to a point where we understand that we are all the same, that we are all worthy of our basic needs met, we have to have had those basic needs met in childhood. Okay. So when you see someone engaging in behaviors that do not respect free will, that take away one of those basic needs, that interrupt the ability for either themselves or someone else to have these basic needs, or creates laws or systems within society that take away the ability for these needs to be met, such as clean air or clean water or access to food or access to affordable health care or access to body autonomy to make the choices that we feel are in alignment with our body, or the ability to express ourselves with safety when somebody is using criticism or shame or guilt or manipulation to try to get somebody to do something. These are all an indication that somebody did not have their basic needs met in childhood, and they're trying to protect their own wounded heart, their own insecurities by asserting power, by asserting dominance over someone else. Okay. So let me just pause here for a moment and reflect that people are not inherently bad. Okay. We as a society have individuals that have been wounded in childhood because their basic needs were not met and honored, or they did not have access to those basic needs because of structures within society. So in order for us all to thrive, we need to take that responsibility back upon ourselves and then advocate for that within our communities and advocate for that within our governments, okay? This includes everyone in society needs to do this. This includes those of you that are in positions of power, those of you that have wealth, okay? Those of you that think that you know what is best for somebody else, okay? If you truly want to help somebody, you need to understand what the core foundational needs are of humanity. And you need to do enough of your own healing work to understand that every human being deserves to have those basic needs met. And then you need to advocate for that. Okay? So how do we heal ourselves enough to ensure that we can have these basic needs met? Well, we have to recognize that when we don't have these basic needs met, it is harder to meet the higher level basic needs, but it isn't impossible. Okay. So learning to love ourselves and create that sense of safety for ourselves when it isn't available for us in the external world. Okay. Safety is the core foundation of all. It means that if we have access to resources and have the ability to help others, we should. Because we all deserve that love. And actually, spiritual traditions teach that we should do this for one another. Okay. So, if you are watching this message, I hope you will have a deeper understanding of your own basic needs and the understanding that every human being deserves to have these needs. And if you don't believe that, get curious about why you don't believe that. Get curious about where those messages came from and whether or not they are actually helpful to you or others. And if you are benefiting from wealth, power, right? Get curious about why you want to take away the basic needs of those that you deem not worthy. And get curious about why you deem some worthy and others not worthy. I guarantee you that you will find somewhere in your unconscious lies a wound that you yourself are not worthy of those things. And that is why you're trying to take them away from others. Sending you deep love and appreciation for wherever you are on your healing journey. I don't send this message out there to shame anyone or to tell anyone that their belief systems are bad. But it is time for us to develop discernment, to really begin to analyze why we believe what we believe, why we do what we do, why we think some are worthy of needs being met and others are not, right? And how we ourselves would feel if we were in the group that is being targeted as not worthy of having those basic needs met. How would you feel if your needs were not being honored? If you found this video helpful, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I explore this and many other concepts in more depth about how to heal ourselves and how to heal the world in my book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, which is available on online platforms. I also teach people how to heal themselves. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, a yoga coach, a mindfulness teacher, and a Reiki master and spiritual channeler. And I am able to tap into the level of consciousness that some call God or Source. And I have first-hand experience that love, peace, and unity is truly what we all are. And that we all have the ability to embody that. So if you're interested in learning how to remember that that's what you are, I hope you'll consider working with me. You can go to my website, blossomingheartwellness.com, to learn more.